Hi guys, I'm Nate from Goodman Racing. This is the Aprilaire dehumidifier that I am currently working on my install. I asked a few HVAC guys in Houston if they would be willing to do a dehumidifier, but since this technology is relatively new in this area, everyone no-quoted it. They just don't have the experience, so I might as well learn how to do it. This is part 2 in this series, and this is an update for it. This Aprilaire dehumidifier takes in fresh air from the outside world and air from the house to dehumidify. To use the simple air conditioning terms, this is the return side, this is the supply side. The dehumidifier can put air out that way or out the top. I'm doing a top feed, getting that supply to go a couple of places. This thing over here is my house's air handler. This thing exchanges air, draws in air from the outside world. This is going to be eliminated with this. It's going to come in on the top part right there. It has a little vent here that physically opens and closes. So then you're bringing in air from the outside world, or you're bringing in air from the return of your dehumidifier. It requires one return, and it's a big 10-inch line. And I'm going to land that somewhere over here between the kitchen, the living room, and over here is the dining room. This tube right here, you can see the gray strapping rather than all the black stuff. It has a kink in it from the original installers. I'm going to cut off all those straps, redo them to reduce that kink and also give me more room to install the register, the big giant box, through the roof or the ceiling of the house for this return. Now, where does the dehumidified air go? So we have air coming from the house in the outside world, the return, the supply side. How am I wiring up the supply side? The best HVAC practice, to give you guys some background, I'm a DIY engineer, like an actual engineer doing this stuff on my own. I'm not an HVAC dude. However, I've been fixing so many HVAC issues here in this house, it's got me second guessing on some of the pros. The dehumidifier needs to supply dehumidified air. When it comes to a regular air conditioning setup, the return side is the air coming in from the house, going through the compressors, getting cooled, and then being supplied back to the house. There's a dehumidification, rehumidification process that's taking place here, especially with the evaporator coils. And if you give it dry air, for all practical purposes of it, it is rehumidifying it and dehumidifying it and then sending it back out. So it doesn't make sense to put a dehumidifier on the return side of an AC system, as in the supply of the dehumidifier does not feed the return of your AC system. The supply of the dehumidifier supplies the house. Push comes to shove, the most effective way to use a dehumidifier is to mount it in parallel to your main HVAC system, as in its supply ductwork feeds the supply ductwork of your central system. That's if you're going to install it into a central AC system. And there are some rules of thumb that I'm going to violate just because I don't physically have the space in here. Like this right here, this pipe right here, this duct coming up and over, that is my duct feeding the supply of the main air conditioning unit. Ideally, this thing would be 2 feet back to where all of its dehumidifier air can mix with the rest of the air traveling through the air conditioning system, and also give the air a chance to mix evenly among all of the different ductworks that are exiting the supply. I don't have the room. The coils are right there. The ductwork is right there. And there's a wall over there. I can't push it forward at all. That is going to be landed right there, but it's not the main dehumidification of the house. I did a map of humidity in the house, as in I took humidity sensors and placed them all over the house, saying this room has this much humidity, this room has this much humidity. And out of everywhere that has the highest humidity, it is 2 places actually. Anywhere with poor insulation or direct sunlight. So this is my wall that's facing the sun, this part of my roof. This area gets hot. This is the part that gets most humid in the house. And the second thing is the master bedroom's bathroom, which is underneath that room down there. Because that's connected to the master bedroom also gets humid. When we breathe, when we sweat, we humans also generate humidity. And since my wife and I sleep in the room there as well, we also increase its humidity, but it's nothing like the humidity that's coming from the bathroom. So how can we handle that? The dehumidifier, you can set it up to feed multiple different places if you use a Y. Again, talk to your HVAC pros about all this kind of stuff. You know, I'm just a dude, but this is a Y that's feeding some of the dehumidified air to the main AC unit. Remember that ductwork we talked about? Look for the black strap, and that is my main ductwork going down to feed that air conditioning unit. Since the bathroom and the master bedroom have this one massive 12-inch duct feeding them both, the master bedroom's closet included, this air as much, the rooms that it's feeding have way higher humidity than the rest of the rooms that the second air conditioning is feeding. The other rooms that the air conditioner is feeding are the 2 rooms that are upstairs. And is that it? Yeah, they're actually zoned. They have a separate thermostat for the upstairs and a separate thermostat for the master bedroom area. Since the humidity is not a problem up there, and the temperature is usually higher there in the summer anyways, or in the fall, like in general, the second story of a house is hotter than the first story, this is going to get dehumidified. So I am only focusing on the 3 or 4 rooms, closet, bathroom, master bedroom, with the Y splitting and going this way. This metal tube is just a placeholder. I need something to see and visualize where this tube would go. I'm not going to be using this in the final install, I think. And this thing right here that you see that it's touching, remember that is the supply from the outside. So this is physically going to get cut and dropped and mounted to here. Regardless, you can see how this is going to bend and then land into this 12-inch ductwork. And I will have a section of it cut out with a 45-degree Y. So then it is pushing air into that way and not doing it 90 degrees. I would love to do that with the feed on the HVAC system as well. But starting collars are a lot like that little cap right there. They're flat. They're usually 90 degrees. They're not ever angled, at least not warped from what I've seen. If there are some out there, I would rather use it than what I've got. At least I get that option up here. That is the update right now with the dehumidifier. And oh, if you're asking or wondering, this is the drain for the dehumidifier. That is the white PVC tubing you see there is the drain for this drain pan, and both of those are hooked up over there. That is where they are. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you out in the desert, if not my garage, or in this case, sorry, caught you there. In this case, my attic. Catch you later.